Hi, Professor Ciganek and anyone else that is watching this book talk. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Magic School Bus series, specifically the Magic School Bus Lost in the Solar System. This book's written by Joanna Cole, she's actually written the entire Magic School Bus series, and that is what she's most famous for with her writings. This book would be great for any science class, ages 4th through 6th grade. I say 4th through 6th grade because with the younger grades, it could get a little difficult regarding the content, and then with the older grades, it could be a little bit too easy, but it'd be perfect for your 4th through 6th grade class. So in this book, it begins with our favorite science teacher, Miss Frizzle, who plans on taking her students to a planetarium, but when she gets there, it's closed. So all of a sudden, their bus turns into a space shuttle and they fly off into our own solar system. So in the story, they go to the moon, they visit the sun, they visit all the planets in the solar system, and throughout the book, it introduces students to all the new vocabulary incorporated with those things and what they do, where they're located, and it's really cool because it takes a literature, so a piece of literature, and takes a content such as science and combines them together and provides students with a really cool tool that they can utilize for the material. So I want to read you two passages, and the way the book is set up is it has a main passage and then little thought and speech bubbles from the characters. So it says, "The Frizz said our first stop would be the moon. We got off the bus and looked around. There was no air, no water, no sign of life. All we saw were dust and rock and lots of craters. Miss Frizzle said the craters were formed billions of years ago when the moon was hit by meteorites. Meteorites are fallen chunks of rock and metal. We are so light on the moon. That's because the moon has less gravity than the Earth. It was so fun on the moon. We wanted to play, but Miss Frizzle said it's time to go. So we got back on the bus. We'll start with the sun, the center of our solar system," said the Fritz, and blasted off. "Look how high we can jump." It was a national jump rope contest. I won, of course. Is there a national bragging contest? So here's the page, and on the side of each page, it takes topics that students might be struggling with or might not understand, and it breaks it down and it explains it in a way that is most relatable to students. So for example, what makes the moon shine? The moon does not make any light of its own. The moonlight we see from Earth is really light from the sun. It hits the moon and bounces off, the way light is reflected from a mirror. And the second one is on the moon's orbit. The moon travels in orbit around the Earth, just as the Earth travels around the sun. So it's really cool how it breaks it down and turns science into a little bit of a story. So the second page I wanted to read to you guys was towards the end, and so Miss Frizzle actually gets lost from the space shuttle and the students are on their own. So in the beginning there was a student in the class, Arnold, who brought his cousin, Janet, and the students didn't really like Janet because she was a little bit bratty. They didn't like the way that she thought and how she always talked about herself. And so when Miss Frizzle leaves, when Miss Frizzle is sent away, the students have to figure out how they're going to find her, and they have to work together to overcome their differences. So at this page it says, "We were going so fast, we almost missed seeing the 9th planet, tiny Pluto, and its moon, Charon. We were so far away from the sun that it didn't look big anymore. It just looked like a very bright star. We were leaving the solar system." Janet flipped rapidly through Miss Frizzle's book. Suddenly, she found something new, the instructions for the autopilot. We punched in asteroid belt on the control panel. Slowly, the bus turned around. It was working. We were going back. Janet really saved the day. I told you she's a good kid. So it's really cool how at the end, after they've seen their whole solar system, they're able to come together and get along and kind of overcome their differences. So with that's one of the main reasons that I really like this book. Besides providing all the content on the solar system, it also provided a little life lesson for the students, which is kind of like a faith integration tool. And so in regarding faith integration, the Bible verse that I chose for the problem that was in the story was actually Ephesians 4, verse 31 through 32. And it says, all bitterness, anger, and wrath, shouting and slander must be removed from you, along with all malice. And be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving one another just as God also forgave you in Christ.